Hey, welcome back. We've the Armalite M15 A4 with the LMT Sopmod Stock from ASG, and this is a Sportline. This review has been brought to you in part by ASG. So this is the Armalite M15 A4 with the LMT Sopmod Stock. It's a 6-position stock, and to be quite honest with you, they've made a bit of a song and dance about the LMT business being on the Sopmod stock. But do you know what? Sopmod stocks by their very nature are quite vanilla-esque, so I don't know what the big deal is about, but I'm sure I'll be corrected somewhere by someone. Now, starting with the very top of this gun, we'll work all the way down to the Sopmod stock, but we're starting up the top with a flash hider. Now, the flash hider is quite a unique looking flash hider. It's a little bit different. Now, some people get really turned on by sort of that whole flash hider being unique and different from everyone else's flash hider. Me, I don't really care. Flash hider's a flash hider. But that's just me. I know I'm quite different to a lot of people. Moving on down, as I say, there is a bit of metal in this gun, but there's also a bit of plastic because this is a Sportline version. So moving down the barrel, which is metal, we come down to the handguard here, which is plastic, and it's quite plasticky, but the saving grace for it is that it's a very matte plastic, unlike some of the glossier finishes that I've seen out there on the lower end guns. And therefore, it makes it look a little bit more realistic and a little bit more expensive looking. Now the batteries go inside here. This will take a nunchuck style battery because there's not a huge amount of room for anything else. I use this with a 9.6 nickel metal hydrate battery. Now I have to say before I start any more on this that we don't always get to bring guns into field to review them. The reason being is we just don't have that kind of time frame. We have limited playing time and we have a huge amount of guns to get through. So this has only just seen a bit of plinking at an airsoft site, checking out the range and what it's like at the firing and sort of rate of fire, etc. So we've no real sort of footage of it being used in game, and we have no long-term objective. So you have to bear that in mind when you sort of look at this review. So as I said, moving down, we have that plasticky foregrip, and then we move into the body. Now the body feels cold to touch. Now I've said this about other guns that are made of these ABS sort of style plastics. It feels cold to touch, so it actually feels very metal-like. And that's obviously to do with the gearbox on the inside being cold, and that's being made of metal and coming through the plastic. But it actually makes it feel much more sturdy and more metal-like than it actually is. And I have to say, again, the quality of the plastic being used here is superb. It has the normal charging handle, which does actually function. Although it doesn't lock back, which would have been a really nice feature, but it allows you access the hop unit, which is not the sort of star dial that you normally get in the M4 series. It is actually like that new version that they're using with a lot of these guns, and it's that sort of very slimmed down G36 drum style hop unit. And as I said, we have then moving back to the LMT Sopmod stock. I don't know, I have one of these on my guns. I find them very functional. They do everything they meant to do. If you need a battery to be put in, but you don't, because the batteries are being wired up the front. So again, I would prefer to see a completely different stock put on this, but that's my own personal preference. It has the carrier handle up here, and I'm assuming again that it's that plasticky material that's being used. That's the same as the body. It's like that carbon reinforced plastic. So all in all, from the aesthetical point, it's a fairly solid looking gun for such a cheap gun. Now it ships with two low cap or should I say two mid cap magazines. They hold about, I think it's 120, could be 140, I haven't checked to be honest with you. But it also comes with a very dinky speed loader, bit sort of similar to the Tokyo Marui speed loader that looks like an M4 mag. And the great thing about these is they do take a huge amount of BBs, and therefore you can sort of bring these into field and load up as you go. It's nice to kind of see a Sportline version being sold with mid caps, because it kind of gives you more of a, especially if there's youngsters out there who would like to have a go at a bit of milsim, don't have the finances to do so, well then this makes it sort of a nice little package to get into that. The selector switch, which is not ambidextrous, is nice and crisp, and it feels very positive on the click rounds. And as I said, there's not really a huge amount that you can say about that, but it does feel nice and positive, which is a big win for me. And the other thing is, the stock is quite strong and doesn't wobble too much, but the mag is as solid as they go. That's like a rock. That doesn't wobble at all. And the pistol grip, as I said, is that plastic again, but you know, it's in keeping with the gun in that it doesn't feel plasticky. It feels nice and comfortable. Now, the nice thing about this gun, as I said, for a Sportsline version, it has a unique code system. As I said, it's unique to this particular model. Each model has a different code on it, and it has all the trades for the Armalite sign, and it comes back and it says, you know, the Armalite ink. And yeah, it's a nice piece. Even on this side, bar the ASG little tag here, we have again the Armalite trades here. So now I have to say to you, how did it fire? Well, I have to say I was quite impressed with the range that we were getting out of this. Rate of fire is about average for this type of model. M4s usually hit around the 12 and a half, maybe up to 14 BBs per second. And you know, this wasn't doing anything sort of spectacular. It's in that ballpark. The range was very good, very solid performer. So if you're in the market for a Sportsline, and you know what, the market is exactly that. People aren't buying high-end guns. If you talk to any retailer out there, their market is 90% Sportlines, because you know there's a lot of youngsters getting in. Money is tight. Recession has hit the world. Depression has hit the world, to be honest with you, and people don't have the money to be throwing out very sort of high-end bits and pieces. So the market really, unfortunately, is the lower end, and that's what we're seeing sort of water down the whole airsoft world. And it's not a bad thing, because you know a lot of these sort of cheaper end guns are employing a lot of the higher end make and build specs, and therefore they're performing very, very well. So this has been a very quick spotlight on a very nice piece. As I said, it's the Armalite M15 A4 with the LMT Sopmod Stock. So we'll catch you soon with another review.